Hi guys! So come with me as I share with you a day in the life of a psych student review edition. Hi! Hi! Okay. Guys, nakapag-review na ba kayo sa PogSite? Nag-send si Ma'am kanina ng announcement eh, may quiz daw tayo next week.
Isa na?
Sakto lang. Parang papel lang sa topic. Yung ginawa ko.
Ano na ba ulit yung topic natin?
Organization of the knowledge in the life. So, yung na-review ko pa lang is yung meaning ng organization of the knowledge. So, according sa module natin, ito daw is the structure and the framework through which we understand and categorize various aspects of human cognition and behavior. So here, we are actually seeking to explore how thoughts, emotions, perceptions, and memories are processed and integrated within the human mind. So, yun lang yung naalala ko.
So, yung next topic is declarative versus procedural knowledge. Under dito is yung converging operations, refers to the use of multiple methods or approaches to examine a particular concept in order to understand a more comprehensive. So, next dito is yung concept. Yung concept naman is about an idea about something that provides a means of the world. It is a mental representation of an object, idea, or event, and often a concept is encapsulated by single word such as apple. So yung dito, the concept in turn relates to other concepts forming a network to other concepts. So for example, the concept of an apple that relates to the roundness, redness, and fruits. So, yung concept, abstract representation that can apply to multiple instances or examples. The concept is abstracted from the individual's experiences of seeing, tasting, and touching of various apples. Next naman, meron pa next. The category. The category is a group of items which different concepts can be placed together because they share some common features or because they are all similar to a certain prototype. So yung category is it helps to organize knowledge and simplify the complexity of the world by grouping related ideas together. Tapos allowing us to understand, communicate, and relates about concepts more efficiently. So, the items within the category shares the same features. For instances, the category of a fruit, like such as apples, bananas, and oranges, share feature by being edible, sweet, and grown on trees. Yun lang.
So, kapag category, they belong in, parang may similarities.
Similarities sila.
Parang hinahanap, like kunwari, parang hinahanap mo kung saan sila nagre-relate, parang gano'n.
Parang matching tayo.
Oo.
Gano'n. Basta may similarities within them for them to belong in the same category.
Gano'n. Tapos, naaalala ko na ata, like, na-discuss ni Ma'am yung sumunod dyan, di ba? Ang sumunod ata dyan is, about concepts and categories, like yung in-expand niya, di ba? Tapos sinabi niya kasi dun na nade-divide kasi in various ways on how we categorize things and concepts, di ba? Tapos ang sinabi niya ata dun yung nagkakaroon ng distinction sa pagkakategorize between natural tapos artifact na category. Ang naaalala ko na kasi na sinabi niya dun, di ba, yung natural na categories, yun yung groupings na like, meron na dati pa. Like, kunwari is, fruits. Ganun, syempre, banana, apple, katulad ng mga sinabi mo kanina. Tapos, dun naman sa artifact, yun naman yung groupings na parang ginawa, na-invent. Like, kunwari is,
Okay, gets.
kunwari is, yung oven, washing machine, ganun, di ba? Parang house appliances, ganun. O kaya, something you can write on, ganun, which can be paper, bond paper, or yellow pad, ganun, or anything, any surface, ganun. So, parang ito yung nabibuild na category when it comes to convenience. Kapag may ina-identify or ginugroup ka ng mga bagay na hindi naman talaga normally magkakagrupo, but you see a similarity within them. Ganon.
Because they have a purpose
Oh,
to
like,
fulfill.
iba-iba, pwede naman sa purpose nila or pwede din sa basta may specific na characteristic na nagko-combine sa kanila, like na pwede mo silang i-categorize as one. Ganon.
Kahit different yung
Oo, kahit different yung objects. Mari, sabi mo na anything that you can put water, pwedeng water bottle, pwedeng baso, pwedeng mug, ganon. Pwede nga plato eh.
Oo nga.
Kasi pwede mo naman talaga lagyan ng tubig yun. Tapos, ang sumunod ata dun is yung prototype theory. Tapos, naalala ko parang may four subtopics yun. Yung first is like define yung prototype. So, yung prototype kasi parang sinasabi nila na yun yung abstract na average of objects. So, ang ginagawa niya kasi like yung mga bagay na na-encounter na natin noon na nakakategory na, kino-compare natin bago natin sila ilagay sa isang category. Ganon. Like, kunwari is, di ba merong standard? Kunwari may standard na itsura yung coffee. Ganon. Tapos, syempre, kahit naman hindi naman literally kamukha niyan, yung parang norm ba? May isa kasi tayong standard, di ba? May isang norm, ganon. But, when you see another type of something, pero kahit hindi pa siya kamukha, pero kung ganun yung object, ikakategorize mo pa rin siya as that object. Ganun. Yun nga, parang sinabi ko na it's a norm, it's a standard. Kumbaga, kahit pa hindi siya mukhang hindi mo alam or hindi siya mukhang ganung
Kabilang
bagay,
doon.
hindi siya kabilang doon. If nagmamatch siya dun sa
They
norm,
share the same
yes, if they share a similar characteristics, they will still be put in the same category. Tapos dun naman sa fuzzy concept naman is diniscuss dun na parang concepts tend to evolve naturally. So, paano nga ba yun? Like, syempre, di ba, long before pa, meron naman talagang evolution. But as time goes by, syempre, napapalitan yung mga concepts natin. Like, kunwari, ang computer dati is, iniisip lang natin na computer siya. But ngayon, meron na ring subcategories yung computer. Ganon. Like, may iba't ibang type na din ng computer. Parang ganon. Tapos, dun lang naman nagre-range yun. Basta ang naaalala ko lang is yung categories, ganyan. Tapos yung prototype theory. Kasi hindi ko na nasundan kasi nakatulog na ako kagabi. Hindi ko na nabasa yung sumunod doon.
I see. So, dun sa may prototype theory kasi, actually may nabanggit ka na yung first two, which are the prototype tsaka yung fuzzy concept. Pero yung characteristic view nun, 4. So, yung pangatlo dun, we have the exemplars tsaka yung classical concept. So, dun sa classical concept kasi, dun sa may prototype theory, it tends to be, parang it has a traditional view of categories and concepts that are dominated before the advent of a prototype theory. So, yung classical view na yun is based on the idea that categories are defined by a set necessary and sufficient features. For example, like, parang in a general perspective, ang bird, ano ba yung mga features na meron sa bird?
Parang
Feathers.
Di ba? Parang,
Yun yung unang pumapasok sa-
lumilipad, may pakpak. Pero lahat ba ng bird lumilipad?
Hindi.
Hindi.
Ostrich.
Pero they are still considered as bird.
Yes.
Because
Diba? Like, parang ano pa ba? Like, sa estudyante, like, it can, parang mako-consider pa rin naman estudyante ang isang tao kung pumapasok siya or hindi, as long as nasa kanyang
Enrolled
features
siya.
or like enrolled sa isang university. So dun kasi sa concept na to, merong key characteristics sa classical view. First, we have necessary and sufficient conditions. First, according to the classical view, each category can be defined by a strict list of characteristics that an item must have to be a member of that category. Like for instance, a triangle, it is diba ang triangle meron siyang 3 sides, which is necessary para ma-consider as triangle. And para maging considered din siya na sufficient, it has closed geometric figure. Like, sa iba ding sa ibang shapes, di ba? Kapag square, it has 4 sides, and sufficient din siya na figure. So, second one, we have clear boundaries. Pero under pa din to dun sa sa characteristics ng classical view. Okay lang. So, clear boundaries. So, yung categories have clear and ambiguous boundaries. An item either fits within the category or it does not, with no room for borderline cases. So, parang mas simple lang. So, kung ang isang bagay, pasok dun sa criteria or dun sa may, features, consider yun. Pero kapag hindi. Ganun lang siya, simple.
Parang accept or reject.
Yeah, for example, sa mga shapes, lahat ng mga shapes na mayroong sides.
Oo.
Like for example, ang circle.
Circle, hindi siya kabilang.
Hindi naman, di ba?
siya.
So parang
Kasi
hindi
wala
pa rin.
siyang side.
Yeah, ganun. So next naman, na characteristics is equality of category members. So parang ganun lang din naman siya. So like parang members of a category are considered equally representative. For example, yun nga yung sinabi ko sa'yo. Sa inyo kanina, yung sa may, yung birds. Basta parang birds can fly pero hindi naman lahat ng birds lumilipad pero they are considered birds. Like for example, ito naman another example, yung robin and ostrich, 'di ba parang they have different abilities as a bird pero they are still considered as birds. So next naman, we have the exemplars. Kapag sinabi naman natin exemplars under this prototype theory, it is our actual observed instances of a category that individuals store in their memory. So these are specific examples rather than abstract averages or idealized versions of category members. So yung role in this categorization, like for example, number 1, comparison processes. When encountering a new object, people compare it to stored exemplars of a category if the new object resembles one or more of these exemplars closely enough, it is categorized accordingly. Next, nandito din yung specificity and detail. So parang mas like in consideration lang tong mga to. Tapos third, advantages of exemplar-based categorization. Nandiyan yung flexibility, learning and adaptation. Tapos nandiyan din yung borderline cases na nabanggit ko kanina. So sa may memory and retrieval naman ito, nandiyan yung richness of information, frequency and typicality. And yeah, yun lang naman yun. And then meron pa yung sa may synthesis, combining feature-based and prototype tiers. Super dali lang nito intindihin, guys. So, dun sa may part na yun, like dun sa core features, each category has a set of core necessary. So, dapat necessary yun. Like, parang feature-based, category-based, categorically. So, features that are all members must possess. This incorporates the idea of necessary conditions from feature-based theory. So, dun kasi sa prototypes, within these core features, categories are centered around prototypes that embody the most typical features. This means that while all members share their core features, the most representative members, which are the prototypes, are these with the highest number of characteristic features. So, parang, like kung intindi naman natin parang very common sense na lang siya, di ba? So, yun lang naman. So, any additional information, guys?
Sino bang nakabasa ng iba nung sumunod dun?
Sino? Sino sa
I
inyo?
mean, yung sumunod dun sa dinidiscuss ni Miles kanina.
Ay, doon na sa may semantic network ata. Okay.
Si Ana.
So anong na yun?
Nabasa mo ba yun?
Nabasa mo yun?
Actually, doon ako nag-focus kasi parang it's very interesting in my part to So, doon naman, kapag sinabi kasi nating semantic model, parang imagine niyo na lang yung spider web. Di ba yung spider web, it is parang interconnected siya. Ibig sabihin, connected. From here to here, may connection sila kahit sobrang layo, di ba? So, ganun din sa semantic model. So, it is like a giant spider web of interconnected words and concept is stored in our brain. So, yung mga concepts na yun is dati nang nasa brain natin. We're just recalling those kapag we are faced with those in our everyday life. So, parang maghahalongkat lang tayo sa brain natin. Parang na siya, parang natural na sa part natin to parang i-connect yung mga concepts na yon kasi nasa brain na dati natin yung ganun. So, each word or concept is a nod and they're like linked together based on their meanings and relationships. So, 'di ba na-discuss nyo rin kanina na yung mga concepts ganun is they have similarities ganun. So, yun, dito naman meanings and relationships. So, for example, yung word na dog, kapag nakaka-encounter kayo ng word na dog, parang yung mind natin, parang nagfo-focus siya sa mga different words like pet, Like, it is something that can bark, it is something that is loyal, ganun. For example, sa cat naman, ganun. It is something na na nakakapag-meow, ganun. Or it is very independent or medyo masungit, ganun. So ganun yung yung explanation ng semantic network model. So when you think about or encounter a word, your brain quickly activates related nodes in this network. So if you hear dog, your brain might also activate nodes for pet and loyalty because they're closely connected. So this model helps explain how we understand language and make sense of the world around us, forming associations between words and concepts. So under the semantic network model, meron yung tinatawag natin na meron yung tinatawag natin na Collins and Killian's network model. So dito, i-discuss ko yung structure nila, how they works, and yung nila, yung parang kung ano yung tinatawag natin Collins and Killian's network model. So here, under Collins and Killian's network model, yung structure nila is like a family tree. So parang from general to specific, parang ganun siya. So these are concepts, ideas, or things, or like family members. So they are connected by lines showing how they relate to other. So here, yung sabi ko kanina, from general to specific. So the most general ideas are at the top. For example, animal is at the top, and under it might be bird, mammals, parang ganun. Yung mga under ng animals.
Parang
so,
subtopic.
Oo, ganun. And then hierarchy, ganun. Under bird, you can have more specific types like canary, ostrich, ganun. So, yun yung structure ng Collins and Killian's model. So, let us now proceed on how this concept works. So, when you want to remember or verify something, you move along this connection. So, examples, if you have, or if you want to know if a bird can sing, you can start at bird, or like, wait lang. Oh my gosh, kinakabahan ako. Wait lang. So let us now proceed to the Collins and Killian's network model. So kung paano siya nagwo-work. So here, when you want to remember or verify something, you move along these connections. So for example, yung word na ostrich, if you want to know if an ostrich can sing, you can start at ostrich, move up to bird, and find that birds can sing. And then the distance, how many steps you take, affect how quickly you react. Parang ano siya, parang kung gusto mong may malaman na isang bagay, like for example, yung ostrich, kung gusto mong malaman na ay, ang ostrich ba is kaya niya bang mag-create ng sounds in which parang it is considered as a song. 'Di ba may mga birds kasi na kayang kumanta, ganun. So i-identify mo muna kung yung lahi ba ng bird na yun is capable of singing. Like for example, i-search mo sa mind mo mismo, dun sa common sense mo. Kung ay yung bird ba is can it provide or can it create a pleasuring sounds, like for example, parang ganun. So ganun yung structure niya, kung how it works. And then next is the feature comparison model. Parang same lang sila ng Collins and Killian's network model. So here yung structure naman niya is imagining each concept as a list of features. So dito na pumapasok yung mga characteristics ng isang bagay. So these features can be essential, defining, or common but not essential in characteristic. For example, a bird. Yung features ng isang bird may include it has feathers, it can fly, it can lay eggs, parang ganun. So how it works naman, parang when you are comparing two concepts, you look at their features. So there are actually two steps in comparing these concepts. So here, quick comparison. So first, do a rough comparison of the characteristic feature. This is like a quick scan. And then next is detailed check. If needed, do a detailed comparison of the defining features. Example, to check if an ostrich is a bird, first compare the common features like flying, having feathers. If that's enough, look at the essential features to make sure. So here, first, yung sabi na quick comparison, kung ano yung nakikita mo. Parang, alam mo naman sa sarili mo kung ano yung itsura ng isang ostrich, di ba? Kung ano yung itsura ng isang bird. Is ostrich considered as a bird? Parang ganon. So, if hindi ka pa na-satisfy sa quick comparison mo, kung hindi ka pa sure, you can actually proceed to the detailed check na you have to compare the ostrich to the characteristics of a bird. Can an ostrich fly? Diba? Hindi naman kaya ng ostrich na lumipad, ganon. So, pero hindi naman ibig sabihin na hindi siya nakakalipad, hindi na siya bird. So, meron din defining features ang ostrich. That's why it is also considered as a bird. So, yun. So, by organizing our knowledge in different ways, these models actually helps explain on how we understand and retrieve information from our memory. Kasi, di ba yung sabi ko kanina, given na sa sa mind natin yung mga concepts, yung mga categories na yan, we just have to retrieve those for us to understand how everyday life, how the works of di ba? ayun, ganun. So, yun lang yung na-review.
Okay, so parang interconnected lang din lahat ng mga na-discuss nyo kanina.
Yeah.
Pero ang galing ng brain, no, yung kahit very complex yung isang object or di kaya yung concepts nila, nagagawa niya pa rin mag-isip or makapag-think ng different na characteristics para ma-associate yung bawat isa.
Yeah.
Speaking of concept, di ba may schemas and scripts? Remember that? And regarding sa schema, we all know that it is a mental framework. Tapos, siguro, let's think of it as a big picture. Tapos, itong big picture na to may elements. Itong sinasabi kong elements, siguro ito yung mga the things you expect to be in that schema. Tapos, yung scripts naman, for me, it is the things you will do while you're in that schema. For example, you think about the word coffee shop. Sa coffee shop, ano ba yung mga nandun? Coffee, pastries, barista, coffee table, couch. Those are the elements. Well, pag script naman, yun naman yung mga the things you will do while you're in that schema. Meaning, kunwari, pag coffee shop, okay.
Anong ginagawa mo?
Coffee shop, pasok ako, order ako, after ko mag-order, upo, mag-intay, after that, kunin ko na pag natawag na yung name ko, after that, and so on and so forth. That's the script. Tapos, next naman dyan, ang nabasa ko, procedural knowledge and declarative knowledge. So, pag procedural knowledge pala, it's more on a hands-on experience. It's more of doing rather than just knowing. Hindi ka lang nagbabasa, hindi ka lang nakikinig sa mga instructions, pero you're doing it.
You're applying it.
And then, yung declarative naman, on the other hand, ito naman yung type of knowledge that focuses on what? Sa concepts, kung sa knowledge, sa facts, sa mga information. Unlike dun sa procedural knowledge, di ba, ginagawa. Etong declarative, how lang, or what. Yun lang. Sinong next dun? Anong next dun pala?
Ayun, speaking of declarative knowledge, meron din non-declarative knowledge. So, yung non-declarative knowledge kasi, dun sa nabasa ko last time is parang implicit or procedural knowledge. Parang connected lang sila, di ba, under nun, yung procedural knowledge, tas declarative and non-declarative. So, yun yung nagre-refer siya sa knowledge na parang difficult siya na i-verbalize natin. Parang gina-justify niya yung sinasabi nila na actions speak louder than words. So, parang kagaya nung, kasi di ba may mga type din ng tao na hindi sila maboka, hindi nila kayang i-verbalize kung ano yung nararamdaman nila. Kaya through actions na lang pinapakita na nagke-care siya para sa friend niya, or di kaya love niya yung mama niya or yung members ng family niya, ganon. So para siyang pinapakita niya through sa skills niya, sa abilities niya, sa mga kaya niyang gawin or capabilities ng isang tao. Yun yung declarative. So kung yung non-declarative, I should say. So, kung yung declarative na sinasabi ni Tanya kanina, it is more of what? Ito naman, it is more of nakabase siya sa hindi natin kayang i-verbalize or through actions siya. Tapos, meron din yung nabasa ko yung procedural knowledge within ACTR. So, yung ACTR, yung ibig sabihin kasi nun is adaptive control of thought rational. So, para siyang cognitive architecture na ini-aim niya yung human condition, including yung procedural knowledge. So, under pa rin siya doon. So, nagpo-provide yun ng framework at nag-a-allow sa atin ng mga tao para intindihin yung mga different na nangyayari. It provides us to learn, to make decisions, and also to reason. So, yung in terms naman ng procedural knowledge, yung ACTR naman, nagde-describe siya ng kung ano yung mga ginagawa, kung how actions are performed based on learned rules and patterns stored in memory. So, parang kagaya nung, for example, tayo dito sa Philippines, meron tayong laws, meron tayong mga sinusunod na mga batas. So, parang yun yung mga sinusunod natin in order to perform as good citizens dito sa country. So, yung proceduralization, yun yung process na nagko-convert ng declarative knowledge or yung mga knowledge na can be expressed verbally. Tapos, yung procedural knowledge naman, yun yung mga how to do something or actions. So, nag-i-involve yun ng learning and automating sequence of actions or procedures to practice and repetition. So, ayun nga, bumapasok na naman dito yung napag-aralan natin sa previous topics natin yung about sa rehearsal and repetition. Di ba lumabas din sa Quizil last time? Yun. Tapos, under din nun, nabasa ko yung knowledge represented by patterns of connections. Yun naman yung parang connecting the dots. Alam niyo yun, yung parang sa coloring book ng bata, na meron yung mga, i-connect mo yung dots. At first kasi, diba, parang dun sa definition kasi sabi niya, each individual unit or dot is relatively uninformative, but when units are connected into various patterns, each pattern may be highly informative, as illustrated in the patterns at the top of this figure. So, similarity, individual letters are relatively uninformative, but patterns of letters may be highly informative. So, ayun nga, parang at first glance, dun sa book, for example, merong book ng bata, tas i-draw mo, parang gusto mong i-draw or i-connect yung dots na nandun sa libro para malaman mo kung ano yung picture na mapo-form niya. So, at first glance, kapag tinignan mo yung mga pattern or yung mismong hindi pa nako-connect yung dots, uninformative pa.
So, it doesn't make sense.
Oo, parang hindi mo pa alam ano kaya yung mabubuo nito. So, dahil sa curiosity mo, parang gusto mo siyang i-connect. So, i-connect mo na yun. So, kapag na-connect mo na, parang unti-unti na siyang na-form yung picture. Parang, mas na-form na nito yung bigger picture to the point na kapag connected na lahat ng dots, masasabi mo na kung ano yung lumabas na picture. For example, yung lumabas is face ng tao, or animal, or flower, ganun. So, within that point, nagiging informative ka na. So, from uninformative na hindi pa nabubuo lahat ng dots, nagiging informative na once connected na lahat ng dots. So, ayun, parang connected lang yun sa akin dun kay sinabi ni Tanya kanina. Ayun, ganun lang siya.
So, parang yun lang naman yung nun, di ba?
Oo. Parang yun lang ata. Yun na yung last nung nag-browse ako kagabi. Doon na yung last na na parang topic, tas susunod na chapter.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.